to motivate our prospective applicants and to provide awareness to entrepreneurs, innovators, inventors, and academia. To start today's proceedings, I would like to invite Dr. Sepalika Sudasinghe, Director General NSF, to deliver the welcome address and opening remarks and to share the knowledge on translating research evidence into practice. Over to you, Madam.
Thank you so much, Sarani. Thank you for organizing this. Good afternoon, everybody. And we welcome you, Professor Ranjit Disanayaka, and also the participants here. We have list of participants here. And also, let me thank Engineer Mahesh also and the team for organizing this event. I think this is a timely, important topic. I think this is what we expect from all these research work. So this workshop is named as, it's an awareness program on research commercialization. Specifically, I really like this, the slogan here, thinking one step ahead of your research idea into business. I really like it. So this is what we want, and this is what is to be done, and this is what is to be promoted during this era. I think if there is a difference between developed and developing countries, the gap between developed and developing countries is this. I'm sure that Professor Ranjit will help all our participants here to think differently and think beyond their comfort zones. I'm sure that because of his background, the administration experience, working experience, and on top of all, the academic background, I'm sure that this will help our participants a lot. And as a result of that, I'm sure that NSF will be able to facilitate, promote the kind of research work that can be useful to the country, because there is a complaint, and also there is a, there's an idea of others that research doesn't work in the practical context. I'm sure these type of workshops, and especially like you, Professor Ranjit, I'm sure that you will support our people, our participants, our researchers to think differently. I think that is what we need. So with this brief note, on behalf of National Science Foundation, let me warmly welcome Professor Ranjit and also all the researchers, and thank you, Engineer Mahesh and the team, for organizing this very important workshop. Even today, we know that, so there are some concerns, but still I know you are here in the office because of this. Thank you so much. Over to you, Sarani.
Thank you, Madam. Technology development and startups are the two grant schemes handled at the Technology Division. To present you an overview of them, I would like to invite Engineer Mahesh Disanayaka, Head of the Technology Development and Innovations Division. Over to you.
Good afternoon, everybody. DG NSF, our resource person, Professor Ranjit Disanayaka, and all our participants. So we are very much happy that keen interest shown by our participants, because we had 239 plus participant registration during the initial registration, but maybe due to this sudden situation, we have some less number of participants, but we want to thank them, even though in this situation they have joined with us. And Myself, Mahesh Sanayaka. So I will talk about NSF Technology Development and Startup Grant Schemes, because we have arranged this workshop parallel to the grant call 2022. So before coming to my presentation, I would like to show you this slide, impact analysis. National Science Foundation have made some evaluation of past completed project during 2005-2019, that previous 15 years. So that evaluation was done in terms of scientific impact, social impact, and economic impact. So we can see that from the graph that our scientific impact is very high, 73%. That means if you do 100 research, 73% have a good scientific impact to the country. So that is a very good situation in these grants. And whereas social impact and economic impact is 17%. That means if you have 100 research, we have a 17% social impact, and 17%, that means 17 research have a economic impact. Comparative to scientific impact, they are very low. And also you can see our second graph. So if we have 100 research, 22 research have given some product, and also 26 research have given some technology. Only one research have given some quality direction. So that's what present scenario in our research system. As our DG said that research commercialization is very much important, and that is the timely needed thing. So with this situation, National Science Foundation, we have a technology development and innovation division. Our division have a mandate to promote technology and development and innovation, technology development and innovation, and also to support the inventors, innovators, entrepreneurs, and other industry sector to foster innovations towards sustainable development of this country. That means ultimate objective of all these research and technology grant schemes are increase the quality of life of people of this country. So what we required is that we have research and we have inventions, but we need to convert these invention into innovations. So that's what we required. So then only we can give some development to the country. So we always think that what are the output from the research. That means I'm sure that you all know that. I'm sure that you all know about the technology readiness level. So it's a 1 to 9 scale. Readiness level 1 means it's a basic research level, and 9 means it has a commercial value, ready to commercialize or ready to apply in the industrial sector. So we always try to increase the technology readiness also our research output, whether it is a product, whether it is a process. So we try to increase its technology readiness level. So that's what expect from this grant scheme also. So as mentioned earlier, we have 2 grant schemes to support this research commercialization effort. One is support for technology development grant. That's the Tech B. So in this technology development grant, we always try to increase the readiness level of the technology. Readiness level of technology. And second one is the support for startup business based on the novel technologies. That the first one we develop technology. Second one, if you have a good technology and develop technology, so we can help to people, those who have good technologies, to create a new business. So that is the second supporting scheme. So we provide financial support in developing new technologies or initiating startup under these 2 grant schemes. And also, not only researchers, any people, any person, either state sector, non-state sector organization is a private sector, or even individuals can apply for these grant schemes. So if anyone he or she want to develop his technologies, they can apply. Or if someone have some business skills, entrepreneurial skills, he want to start a startup or business using some developed technologies, he or she can apply for this grant schemes. In the grant called 2022, we have 13 high priority areas because we know that one, the country needs to develop some areas. And so based on that, so we have selected 13 high priority areas: eco-friendly agriculture, food quality and safety, post-harvest management, health and indigenous medicine, climate change, disaster management, waste management, water security, energy security, value addition to natural resources, community development and social innovation, biomedical innovation, application of Industry 4.0. So these are the high priority areas, and we expect technology grant to give technology grant from these areas. And we'll see support for technology development. That is the first scheme. So we have 3 objectives under this scheme, that we encourage people by providing funds to conduct projects leading to technology-driven innovations. There may be some high-tech or good technology. So if there is a technology-driven innovation, we will help them also. And there may be some market-driven innovation. So there are some gaps in the market. So we need some new product or process to that, fill that gap. So we'll give market-driven innovation also. And also if someone have some new material, they have developed some new material, so we'll give funds for developing that material also. And maybe product maybe food product, or devices, maybe equipment that will ease our day-to-day activities. So we'll give funds for that one also. Installing new process systems and services. So we'll give fund for that one. For example, systems. Uber is that kind of system or service that will that is a good innovation we can consider. So we can give that type of systems development also. This one. So second thing is that encourage grantees to actual property protection and licensing their innovation, IP security. And the third is promote technology transfer and commercialization of new technologies. So what we thought that if it is a technology development grant, we will give a technology grant, and then if some other person, maybe some other industry person or entrepreneur, he can take that technology and he can apply that into the industry or do that commercialization. Or the person who developed that technology, he also can do that commercialization part, so that he can go to our startup grant scheme and he can start his own business to do commercialization. So whatever it is, whether it is a own company or it is the other's company, we need commercialization. So that is our ultimate objective. We don't want to stop our findings or inventions in the middle. So we want to go up to the end point. So we have some assessment criteria. So once you have sent us EOI, so we will do some assessment criteria based on this one. That means the novelty of the technology development, and then techno-economic feasibility, because sometimes the product is good, so we can do it, but if it is not economically feasible, so we can't consider it. And then the capability and capacity to conduct the project. So as I mentioned earlier, so we are giving government sector, private sector, and individual. So we do not think about their academic background, but we will give it any person who like to apply for this grant, but we'll see that what is the capability and capacity of conduct the project. So we want to see that one. And then we'll see that contribution to the SME development. So what are the outputs from this and outcomes? And then market potential. That means we have a good technology. It is economic also possible, but if there is no demand from the people, so it's not a good product. So we have to think about the market potential, and then value addition. So we have a lot of natural resources. If someone do some value addition, those things, we will see that one also. And then sustainability, that means the technology life cycle, and then high-end technology development. So because always we are talking about the industry 4.0 and related technology. So if there is that kind of areas, so we are giving some priorities to this one. So these are the assessment criteria. And as mentioned earlier, we will fund all these sectors, but there's some limitation when we are sending the funding. State sector, we will fully funded, but non-state sector and individuals, that means the private sector or individual person, we will not fund it fully. So we will fund maximum 70% from the NSF side. Private sector person or individual person have to bear 30%. That is actually 50 to 70% NSF funding, and the applicant have to bear the balance 50 to 30%. So this is a negotiable within this percentage. So we can negotiate this one. Anyway, NSF is funding up to 70% under this grant scheme for private sector and individual peoples. So we'll come to the next grant scheme, that is startup grant scheme. The first objective is the scheme is mainly intended to encourage the scientists and engineers to create value to their research findings. That's what actually even Professor Ranjit also going to talk about, how to commercialize the research, our research commercialization. So we focus on our researchers, their findings, how to commercialize that one for establishing startup companies, so spin-offs. And the second thing is that not only the research category people, that means outside the research system, there may be some people, they have some business skills, entrepreneurial skills, they have some good innovative ideas. So we'll think about them and we motivate them to initiate new business based on novel technology. So not only researchers, but also other people, those who are especially in some villages also. We have seen that one sometimes ironworks, some garages, there are a lot of people working there. So they do some good innovation. Actually, they don't know that those are innovation or invention, but they are doing new things. So we focus on those people also under this grant scheme. So we help them also. To support conversion of university research institute research output. That means if there's a university research output or research institute research output, so we are help them to marketable these product or services under this grant schemes, and also again encourage scientists and engineers from universities and research institute to become successful entrepreneurs. We know that every person can't be a entrepreneurs, but there are some people, they are good researchers, but they have some business skills. So this type of people can get this type of grant scheme and they can start new businesses. Actually today, Professor Ranjit Sanak will explain how to do that one and to encourage establishment of technology-based firms by state and non-state organizations and individuals, because we believe that one, to develop our country, we need initiate more businesses. That means we need to have some more initiative to make business linkage, business companies work with the foreign companies or earn foreign monies to our country. So we need that one. So we are encouraging establishment of new technology-based firms, either by state sector or non-state sector, even by individuals also. And then to promote technology transfer and commercialization of new technologies, as I explained earlier, whether it is a own company or someone else's company, ultimate objective of this startup grant also commercialization, because the commercialization means then only we can achieve our ultimate objective to increase the quality of the life of the people of the country. So that's what we promote in these two grant schemes. So this grant scheme also have some assessment criteria. So we see techno-economic feasibility of the business concept, and then the sustainability of the business, because we can start business, but if you can't sustain that one, So we have to think about that one also. And then advocacy of process and technical know-how, HR potential, financial capability also, because if you are doing business, we have to have some background knowledge on that one. So we'll see that one also. And then technology assessment, that feasibility, novelty, relevance, suitability, licensing potential, and suitability. So we'll see that one. And then financial need by the prospective applicant, because how much he or she need to initiate the startup. So we have to think about that one also. We are using government money or people's money. And then environmental impact, we are relevant. We have to see that one also. And then business operating strategies and critical risks, how we analyze that one. Then soundness of the work plan design for implementation. So we have to see about the work plan of implementation or initiating or establishing this business. So you have to think about that one. And then meeting relevant regulatory requirements from relevant authorities. Because when we are starting some business, we have to think about those things also. Sometimes we want to get a clearance from different authorities. So we have to think about that one also. Because before starting that one, we want to get these clearances also. And then documentation should be provided from relevant authorized institutions. So we have to think about that, because before investing, we have to clear about all these things. Because we have to think about all the feasibility, not only financial feasibility, technical feasibility, environmental feasibility, social feasibility, all these feasibilities we have to think about before starting business. So we will, during the assessment criteria, we will do this one. So under this grant scheme also, we will fund as before. So we'll give up to 50% from NFS side. It's a 50 to 70%. So we'll can do negotiation and we can come to whether NSF is giving total 70% or 50%, 60% like that. So we can do that one after negotiation and the relevance of the business. So we are providing funds for the equipment fabrication costs, consumable items, and consultants on developing business plans, market service, and design and fabrication. So we'll provide funds for those things, and we are not providing funds such as construction of building, tents, payment of rents and settling utility bills, salaries, and purchasing raw material. So we are not giving grant for these items. So we have to think about those things. So those are the funding details. So we can negotiate people with interesting people after applying for this grant. So if you see the program guideline how to do this one, so we have already called UI. So anyone can download our UI from the website. So it's a small, you can see this one. It's a one-page document. So we'll ask minimum details. So once we analyze the UIs, we'll invite applicants to do a presentation. So they can do some presentation. So based on that, after successful UIs, applicant of those UIs will be requested to submit detailed grant application. So anyone can apply any number of grants, but only one grant is awarded at one time to the one team leader at a time. So there is there. And then all the financial procedures, we have to follow the government approved financial procedures and regulations when managing finance of all these categories. So so you can, we have already opened our grant schemes and it will close on 14th this month. So anyone interested, he or she can just send us a UI. Based on UI, we will invite you to do presentation. During that time, we can do all negotiations. And then those who have success during that presentation, we will invite them to do, send us a detailed proposal. Based on that one, we will award these grants. So you can visit our website, National Science Foundation website. You can see all the details, because we have attached UI and also all the program briefs regarding these two grant schemes. You can read those grant program briefs. We have included all the guidelines there, and please apply for our grant scheme. We are happy to help you either developing technologies or initiating new startups. So with that, I will conclude my presentation. We'll have a discussion session. During the discussion session, if anyone has something to clear, we can discuss on that one. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Engineer Disanayaka. Next, I would like to invite Professor Ranjit Disanayaka, our guest speaker. Professor Ranjit Disanayaka is a senior professor in civil engineering, University of Peradeniya, and presently the Secretary to the State Ministry of Rural Development. Professor Disanayaka was a Fulbright Scholar in USA, Interior Fellow in Australia, and Jesso Research Fellow in Japan. He has published over 150 papers, and he is the chairman of the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka and Civil Engineering Sectional Committee of Institute of Engineers. Also, he is the vice president of Institute of Engineers, Sri Lanka, and Chamber of Construction Industry. In private sector, he is the chairman for Loco International Private Limited, ICB Private Limited, Lanka AAC Private Limited, and GAP Private Limited. I am honored to invite you to make your presentation on research commercialization, thinking one step ahead of your research idea into business. Over to you, sir.
Thank you for the kind introduction. And also I would like to thank for the National Science Foundation, Engineer Mahesh, as well as Director General and Chairman for this kind invitation. I'm very pleased to present on the topic given on research commercialization. When we go to the research commercialization, I believe that the very important thing is we should go for the applied research. So my presentation will be outlined as our role as a scientist. And I'm going to be talking about economy in Sri Lanka, present situation. Then our role being the innovator, as well as where to find the entrepreneurship and how we are going to build this link together. Then the mainly topic, research commercialization. Then I'll try to talk to case studies or how I develop some of the companies. Yeah, when you want to go for the commercialization, basic research, then you have to go for the applied research. It should be product or service, should be applied research. Then our aim is to fill the gap between the social need and with our scientific knowledge. So we develop something, it's a scientific knowledge. People need something. So then we try to fill this gap. Actually, when you want to commercialize something, you need to identify the social need. Otherwise, you may not be able to successful in research commercialization. Simply explaining that this is really a gap, right? So if you understand that, then you need to give a solution. Of course, I've been a civil engineer, it's a bridge. So you have to provide a sustainable solution. It should be low cost and satisfying their requirement and so on. You have to provide the bridge there. So that while I understand in the social gap, we being the scientists and engineers try to give a solution. So that is where we can create the business case. So similarly, we being the scientists, we should understand the current situation of the country or the world. doesn't matter. And based on that, you have to do the applied research where we'll produce the object, product, or the service which we can market. So that most of the situation, people do the research, they don't know how to market it. As well as they don't think about the marketability, they purely think about the publication and so forth. Of course, that are important, but if you go for the research commercialization, you will always have to think about the market. Let me go into our economy right now today, where we are, right? I think for the time being, everybody is clear. We are in 2020 or 2021 now, 20, is something like this, sir. Because we are importing the more and more thing to this country than exporting. There's a trade balance. That has been the case right now. That was about 2 years before we banned import of the vehicle because we don't get enough dollar to spend to buy the vehicle. That is what we have the power cut right now today. Why we don't have dollar to buy the fuel? So if you put enough dollar, we could buy the fuel and the energy could have been produced in the country. So this is exactly what is happening right now. So this is not the graph that I produce because of this crisis. This is one of my very famous lecture. I have always used to create this. This is without understanding this. I always said that no point of bringing any policy or anything. This is where our trap. Now, where we should go? Right? What is our role, being scientists? So we would like to see our future is like that. End of the day, it may be 2025, 2030, 2050, that we send something and earn dollar that is almost enough to buy what we want. But then there won't be any trade balance. In order to do that, as the energy is a prime important thing and it costs a lot of money, we have to go for the kind of renewable energy and so forth. Then we should go for the manufacturing. We import almost everything what we use. We start the manufacturing. Basically, I'm talking about made in Sri Lanka. We try to produce more and more things in Sri Lanka. So that this is the case. As a researcher, you will have to think about what are the things that you can produce or already think that we can produce out of the raw material what we have. You need to go for the 100% raw material what we have in the country, but some percentage can be imported. Then you can at least sell to our people, our market, and make sure that the import will be limited. Then later we can produce the thing for the other countries like neighboring country, India, Maldives, and so forth, then to the world. This is how it should be. As well as this is where we need the research and commercialization. This is a topic that we are discussing. But short-term measure, the tourism and the foreign employment must be encouraged for the time being, get the short-term benefit. But the long-term research and commercialization is the way forward. So that is a topic that we are talking today, and that is a topic that we require for bring the economic stability of this country. So this is the requirement right now. So therefore, I think NSF has organized a right seminar as well as right scheme to promote the researchers. Then let me explain how do you achieve this social economic development, where innovation and entrepreneurships, the research to commercialization. Right? This is the topic that we are talking about. See what has happened today. We bring more things than we send. We send rubber, coconut, as well as some garment item. But we bring a lot, including the vehicle. Now we brought fuel, essential items, and many, many things that we are bringing. Then we, in case of research commercialization, we try, we have to look at this one. Then we understand that we do the basic research. Of course, the basic research has been done almost all the institute, which is a must. Then we have to think about the applied research. Yeah, that is what I say, product, service, and so forth. Then it come up with the innovation. The innovation must be commercialized. Right? Innovation must be commercialized. In the research, basically applied research, must be commercialized. Then you get the wealth into the country, so that wealth will be within the country. Why? Because of the commercialization. We produce the most of things that we want within the country, so that we don't have to import much. So slowly we can. Again, this wealth have to be invested on again the basic research and the applied research that have to be. Then one day there will be a situation where we send more item to the out of the country than we are bringing. That is what country like China and other developed countries are doing. At the same time, we have to continue this cycle, the basic research, applied research, then innovation and commercialization. So what happened, our universities, we do the basic research, up to certain extent applied research, that's all, because people think our promotion, our all the requirement will be satisfied with the basic and applied research. Even the promotion scheme are not asking for the commercialization much in, I don't see it. But basic and applied research, number of paper published and so forth. So therefore, we should encourage to the other end, like the innovation and the getting the patent and so forth, and the commercialization. It's not that easy, I believe. So just to tell you the importance of this one, I get some evidence from the MIT. In MIT, there is the theme is to educate the people, then the research and the innovation. So this is the main thing. But our system, mostly in our universities, more weightage on the education, then little research, no innovation at all. I can remember even our universities, number one is undergraduate, that is true, but we have to more think about the rather than undergraduate, postgraduate and research and innovation. But see the MIT model. What is the results in MIT? It says that there are more than 30,000 active companies they have developed, and 4.6 billion people are employed, 1.9 trillion annual turnout. Just to give you the datum, revenue is between the world 9th largest GDP, Russia and India. But Russia and GDP in Russia and India, in between the revenue created by the alumni of the MIT. So that explains how important the research innovation. So there are some other data that I am not going to read you. It is very, very important. That is something missing. So be we in academic or researchers, there is a part, even for the today problem, there is our part. I don't think that we have done our part. So I'm very keen on green innovation and entrepreneurship's promising pathway to the development in Sri Lanka. So I always believe. So that's what maybe the reason why I'm so keen on the green concept and present the green chairman for the Green Building Council. And I always try to come up with the innovation and make sure that the entrepreneurship, as this is the pathway to the development in Sri Lanka. Now, I am trying to explain some of the case studies where and how I created this research into the commercialization. I've been a civil engineer where linear economy is a case where we always do it. What we do, we get the resources. It can be cement, sand, anything. Then we produce or build the building that we want. End of the day, what we do is we demolish. We might see them on the garbage level, streams, some land and so forth. So there will be a lot of environment pollution. So that I see as a civil engineer. I have been working in this area. So I'll tell you where I. So they again take, make and dispose. This is the lean economy. So I know that there is a crisis in sand. Sand prices has been increasing drastically, as well as there is a huge shortage of labor. This is the annual sand requirement, that whatever we can go offshore and manufacturing. When it's 21, it's 3. That there is a balance 18. That is why cost has been increasing, because we have not gone for the secondary and innovative. We being researchers, the way forward is to go for the secondaries and the alternative. So this is the way forward. When the construction increase the pressure on the resources and the resource scarcity, we need to go for the alternative and secondary material. This is where our research and commercialization is coming. If you go on for the secondary and alternative, we would have reduced the price, especially sand, even for the other materials are the same. So we have to go for the circular economy. In circular economy, when it is green circular economy, we have to protect the environment and provide something which need for the social, and we have to make sure that the profit will be there. Otherwise, it won't be business. So problem is the material, especially material like sand, labor shortage. So that we understand there's an environment problem, there's a huge wastage of, the collection of the fly ash in Narachole. It has become the environment problem. Then we create the company called Lanka IC Private Limited. So that's simply innovation. It is a green innovation. As we are trying to produce worth with the waste, it becomes a green innovation. Then when it forward into the market, it becomes entrepreneurship. So this is where the green innovation is meant to be. So that this is what some situation we go for the innovation entrepreneurship, but right now, as we have the huge environment pressure problems, we have to go for the green innovation and entrepreneurship. That is the case. So just to explain you the background, this is Narachole. For that, we need the coal. Coal will be imported. This is how it is imported. And we generate the power, very good. It's very cheaper compared to any other source. Then there's a problem in the fly ash. So that is the problem where we need to find a solution. What we did was, this is the fly ash collection in Narachole. It's a huge environment damage. When you go back to the coal power production, fly ash is the main waste. So what we did was produce something valuable material. This is not completely our innovation. This is available technology. What we did was we studied the available technology and we did some pilot studies, and we understand there are few failures. Then we did the research with our own researchers. We had the chemists, the chemical engineer and civil engineer, a group work together to find out the sustainable solution. Then we could market it. It is almost 70% of the raw material is a fly ash. So this is a circular economy where the waste goes as a valuable material. This is a Lanka IC Private Limited that was established in 2018, as I remember. This is, I'm not going into the detail of the manufacturing process. Right? The factory is located in Putlam. So you will see that the nearly 65 to 70% is fly ash. Rest is cement, lime, gypsum, and aluminum powder, which is used to the aerate the mix. So it's a lightweight. This is plotting, and this is the part of the factory in Putlam. This is the binding is done. This is some of the. This building is available in Columbus, where right now I am. But there are some other advantage, not only the lightweight. It's a fire resistant, reduce the dead weight, environment impact accuracy, low water absorption, and so forth. So here is a small video clip that was announced.
පේරාදෙණිය විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයේ සිදු කරන ලද පරීක්ෂණයක ප්‍රතිඵලයක් ලෙස මෙම ගඩොල නිෂ්පාදනය කර තිබෙනවා. එම විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයේ ජ්‍යෙෂ්ඨ මහාචාර්ය රංජිත් දිසානායක මහතා ප්‍රකාශ කළේ
සිමෙන්ති ඒ වගේම ගල්ලඟුරු ලයිම් මිශ්‍රණයක් යොදලා ඒ මිශ්‍රණය ටික වෙලාවක තිබුණාට පස්සේ අපිට මේක කපා ගැනීම හැකියාවක් තියෙනවා. ඒ කපා ගැනීම තුලින් තමයි අපි මේක තුලට ස්ටීම් සම්බන්ධ කරගෙන මේක මේ වගේ අමුද්‍රව්‍යයක් බවට පත් කරනවා. මේක හරිම බරෙන් අඩුයි. අපිට වැලි භාවිතය ගොඩාක් දුරට අඩු කරන්න පුළුවන්. ගොඩනැගිලි හැදුවට පස්සේ අපිට එයාර් කන්ඩිෂන් සඳහා අවශ්‍ය වෙන විදුලි බිල පව අඩු කරගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේ ගොඩාක් වාසි තියෙනවා මේක හදාගන්න. ප්‍රධාන වාසිය තමයි මේක අපි දැන් විදුලි බලය නිෂ්පාදනය කිරීමේදී දිනපතා මේ ඇෂ් එක අපි පිට කරනවා. මේක ලොකු පරිසර හානියක් බවට පත් වෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ මේක ඉතාමත් පරිසර හිතකාමී ගොඩනැගිලි නිෂ්පාදනයට සුවිශේෂී දෙයක් බවට පත් වෙලා තියෙනවා. මේකේ බර අඩු එක විතරයි තියෙන්නේ. නමුත් ශක්තිය ඉතාමත් වැඩි. මේකෙන් ගෙයක් හදපුවාම ඇත්තටම සාමාන්‍ය ගෙදරකට අවශ්‍ය වෙන කම්බි ප්‍රමාණයෙන් 15ක් 20ක් අතර ප්‍රමාණයක් අඩු කරගන්න පුළුවන්.
මෙම ගඩොල් නිෂ්පාදනය කිරීම සඳහා ගල්ලන්.
So now actually we about 6 months before we had a partnership with the industry because we wanted to expand this production because we came to the situation where we need the finance as well as we need to enhance the capacity, so that we went the partnership with the access engineering. Now we are planning to double the capacity. Even for the time being, we cannot match the demand, so that has gone to up to that level. Day by day, the demand will be increased because of the sand price and the labor and so forth. This is very easy to handle. So that of course you can develop something on your own pilot scale and little bit scale, and then go with the industry giant. Otherwise, from the beginning, there's some other case I'll explain to. From the beginning, you can negotiate with the industry and do your research, and you become a partner. I mean, always need not to be a partner, but you can provide the technology and go ahead with the production and so forth. But there are several ways that you can partner with the industry, because without partnering with the industry, there's a limit that you can go. That is we really understand after the going is access, because they have the lot of marketing scheme and management. Everything is there, right? We being the academics, and in my case, I have done a little bit of the commercialization. Therefore, I have little bit knowledge, but pure academic, they don't know the how the market behave and the other management and so forth. Therefore, partnering with the correct industry, you will get the what you lack. So we again produce another brick out of the fly ash geopolymer brick. So that is very successful. We did with the RMIT University, Melbourne, Australia. But still we have one question because of the cost, which is it's a very heavy brick, good for the heavy floors and so forth. Only problem is you cannot market because of the cost. That means there can be a situation because if it is cost is higher than what is available in the market, you may not be. Otherwise, it is 100% out of the ply ash. Now I would like to come up with the one the case study or the one work that I did, National Science Foundation, because I was invited to this presentation, National Science Foundation. This is, I got a grant in 2002 by the National Research Council, NSF. So this is the history, because when something got old, we replace it. When something get bad, it can be any structure, we demolish it. That is the history, right? As you see there. But we submit the grant, that is, this is the number in 2002, for the 3 years, reliability assessment and life assessment of the bridges. We asked for the 4 million at that time, the huge amount, and then we got the grant. So then cases like this one, they want to go up the new bridge, the location line. So we said repair, but still they didn't ask, but we keep on telling them to no point of, even we designed the bridge for them, but they finally said that because of the cost factor, they said that, okay, we can go for the new one. So they accept to repair rather than going for the new bridge. So likewise, we have done similar work to the industry. I'll explain it. So this is the rethinking process, right? So they accept to repair the bridge. Actually, this was done about 10 years before. Now, we have developed last more than 20 years technology with the structural health monitoring. And we have been given the consultancy. But later I found that I cannot continue this work alone. Therefore, I created the company called International Center for the Sustainable Built Environment Private Limited. They are, other than the designing and the other works, the main job is to provide the structural health monitoring, because we train the people, we have the technology, we have developed a lot of theories and algorithm and so on. So we provide industry like nowadays we at least one service for a week. Like our office is in Columbus 7, and then we have another office in Kandy 2, as I am from Kandy. So we provide this one. So this is where we started the research grant by the national NSF. Then we develop the various things, theories and the formulas and so forth. We write so many research papers. Under this research grant, I think under this research theme, we have developed nearly close to 10 PhD students. Some of them are professors right now, senior lecturers and associate professors and so forth. So finally, with some of the master students, I created this company, International Center for the Sustainable Building. Now we are continuously, sometimes some of the situation, I don't know whether whether we know, because they are trained now, they do the case. We established the company in 2010, but we have been doing the research and doing the consultancy for the industry during last almost 20 years, but later it was formed as a company, commercialized. So this kind of work has been done, mainly bridges and building and so forth. So these are some of the work done over the, and we have the supporting arm for the construction also, sustainable construction, that I'm not going to detail. That is the oldest company, Lego International Private Limited, which provide the sustainable construction solution to the nation. This is the very recent completion of the Kandy City Center cinema. Basically, it was an old structure. It was not built for the cinema. So at the beginning, they want to demolish all the building and create the new one. But we said that, okay, you don't have to demolish the whole structure. We'll build the cinema, 3 cinemas are there, within the old structure, so that we modify the structure rather than going for the demolition. So they are so happy, and it has come very nicely. If you happen time, you must visit there. So that was the technology supported by the International Center for the Sustainable Built Environment Private Limited. Mainly construction was done Lego International Private Limited. There are a few more works that we are now doing. GAP, Graduate Associate Private, Professional Private Limited. We are trying to mainly, we see the gap between the industry and academia. We are going to fill that gap through the academic. We are working on the bamboo product, bring the production line to the Sri Lanka. At the beginning, we try to bring it as a pilot project. Now we have discussed with some of the research institute in India and Vietnam. So we are planning to visit them. We have a discussion so that at the beginning we try to come up with the smaller machines. There are some of the problems there. Bamboo cannot be transported. We try to first establish in a land where the bamboo is available. In the meantime, right now we are producing the bamboo plant. We are going to grow the bamboo, and it's a long-term procedure. Then another one, we are discussing with the industry leader over the construction and demolition waste to the various. But this is the kind of available business. We have done the survey mainly in the Western province. We understand what are the type of waste coming in Sri Lanka particularly. Now with this data, now we have started the company in Sri Lanka. They are keen to invest this. So we have done the preliminary discussion. Now this needs a big land. So we are trying to apply the land from the government close to the Colombo, because all the waste construction demolition must invite there. Then these wastes have to be produced, the aggregate sand, these are come as a brick, concrete, stone, various they can come, so that we have to produce some material. Then we must find out the mechanism. It's good for start with the government contract, especially municipal construction and various. This is where we go, because otherwise, if you go directly to the normal people, they will not accept this money. Therefore, through the government agreement, and we have to go. We are working on this. Just is what there are different way that we should go for the research commercialization. At the beginning, you can identify the industry, or once you do the pilot, you can sell your product, right? Or sometimes you go for the factory and then, because the industry, joining with the industry is very, very important, because it's not 100% our own. We should produce the thing, let industry to go ahead with them. Sometimes situation like the Blanca AC, we might completely sell our the shares, so that they will carry it. This is our duty. Our duty is to let it to go, initiate the research and make it the applied research, and the produce something, either service or product, then let the industry carry. So we should continue more and more the research. In conclusion, it's very, very important. In the case of research commercialization, we must go for the applied research. Then we must understand the market requirement. If you do not understand the market, the situation, we may not be able to sell it. There's a management part, there's a finance part. We need not, you must be expert in the one area. We need the other expert. That is very, very important. Industry is very important if you want to go with the applied. Likewise, this is your ability to the presentation, PR, various other soft skill is very, very important, because purely producing something, getting the platinum alone, you cannot market it. There's a lot to be done. Therefore, very, very important. The other sectors, understanding other people, joint research, right? When you go to the market, it won't be a long something purely one. I'm a civil engineer. I may not be able to produce the brick out of the fly ash if I try it my alone. We had a chemist, we had a chemical engineer, civil engineer, combination of this, right? So we can't market. We have people who market this, right? We need the management, we need the finance. So at the beginning we finance it and did it. Later we went for that. So these are the kind of ideas that I have. So I think this will be very interesting. If you come up with the questions that we have, I can answer, because basically I just want to tell you importance of the research commercialization and the present crisis of the country. We need the research commercialization in the big way. And I told you, case like MIT, how they have generated the revenue, job employment, and so forth. And I explain this is not impossible thing. I have done few cases, few commercialization. Still, I am doing it. So you can enjoy than doing the pure research. I do enjoy it. I see that many people are get employed, right? Products is been produced. So I'm very happy for the time being. Maybe altogether 400 people are working, 30, 40 engineers are working. So I build my office in Colombo 7. This is where right now I am today. So I'm happy about it because I could have done something for the nation. This is what we need to do being researchers. With that, I would like to thank you, but I'll be available next 10-15 minutes to answer any questions.
Thank you, Professor Disanayake. Now it's time for the general discussion. If you have any questions, now the floor is open to you. You may switch on your mics and ask any question.
Can I make a few comments?
Please.
Yes, Dr. Wood.
Thank you very much, Professor. I'm very impressed with the work we have done with fly ash. Actually, I'm Chandra Ambulenia.
Okay.
I'm the chairman of the Technology Development and Innovation arm of the National Science Foundation.
Okay.
The concept of commercialization you have given with good examples, actually. It is what we really need here at the National Science Foundation, that engagement with the industry, which is actually when you go into the commercialization end along the value chain, that something that is absent in the value chain of the National Science Foundation. The National Science Foundation has got a Rolls Royce to really evaluate the research proposals. But then at the end, going to the commercial end, we hardly see any results. Of course, my friend, our head of the Research and Innovations Division gave statistics to prove that there has been an impact. And also, actually, commercial success also in some cases. However, to make the kind of impact that you as a professor from the Peradeniya University has made in the commercial end, I haven't seen that type of thing coming from the National Science Foundation. So this is something that we really need to make ourselves realize at the National Science Foundation to engage the whole concept of the value chain development, the concept of the actually, what I always talk about is the Porter's value chain, and you have given it very nicely in your presentation. And every time that we get a research proposal, we need to really put that into the value chain and see where does it fit into the value chain. Now, you very aptly mentioned that, the circularity of this process, that you start with the basic research, and then you come up to the applied research, and then how you go around the circle to commercialize it, and then get back into the basic research, which is very good. Our National Science Foundation does a lot of research at the basic level also, I believe, and also some of the development work that we undertake at the development end is really lacking in that kind of impact. I suppose, with the new Director General and also the new heads of our engineer Mahesh, who is putting a lot of effort into transforming the technology division, I suppose that we should be able to make these changes in the future. However, that what you mentioned about the collaboration with the industry is even more apt at this moment, because that we are working with very lean funds. Our funds are very limited, and it's just trickling in. And so basically, I think, and also because of the depreciation in the currency value, it has even diminished value. So what we really need is the engagement with the commercial sector. Two things. One is about the engagement with the commercial sector right from the beginning, if it is possible. Second thing is about developing public-private partnerships for the National Science Foundation. So we have been speaking about this a lot in the absence of any government funds, and trying to engage with the private sector in developing public-private partnerships to take our research into the commercial world. In fact, I remember another professor from Moratuwa University who brought another civil engineer like yourself. He brought the concept of this mud bricks. So the mud bricks, he also has got this commercialized, but he wants to take it beyond the level what he is doing right now. So now, in your case, fly ash has a very beautiful appearance and also direct application in the civil engineering construction works, whereas in the mud bricks, it goes into a different level of social society. So therefore, to engage with the public and the commercial side, we have to look at different business processes and business models. So I want to thank you once again for giving this message to the National Science Foundation from your experience, giving first-hand experience to all of us to learn from of what we should be doing at the National Science Foundation to really commercialize our people who come to us, to the National Science Foundation, for looking for funds, really. So what I really would like the National Science Foundation to look out from the outset, when it is an applied research, to really engage with the private sector with a public-private partnership and seek funding from the investing parties to engage and develop the business model so that engage with public-private partnership. Now, in basic research, it is very rarely that any private sector person will come and have a public-private partnership. But the point is, with applied research, there is a great opportunity, which I would like to really highlight after your presentation, that the National Science Foundation should be looking at for the future. Thank you very much, Professor. It was a great.
I'll add a little bit. The other one is what National Science Foundation can do. They can invite the industry, come up with some of the problem that they have, so that then National Foundation can match it with the industry. Actually, because of this presentation was in the YouTube and so forth, especially the news telecast, many companies contacted me and asking they have a problem like this one. Why not you come and solve it? Likewise, there are so many problems in the industry, but they sometimes collect the waste, they do some alternative, but they don't have the real the solution. So that if you invite the industry to come up with their problem, then you publish it, ask for the interested people who can solve this problem. Just to add something what you said.
Thank you very much. In fact, Professor Ranjit Senratne, you probably know him,
Yeah,
our
I know
chairman
him.
of the National Science
Yeah.
Foundation. Yeah, I mean, he introduced this actually 2 years back. That go to the find out the areas where we can be of help. But in the when it comes to the process of National Science Foundation engaging with the business community, there is no scope for that kind of thing, you see. So they always have to advertise and then go after the people who are applying for resources from the National Science Foundation, which has to come in terms of rupees and cents, and then get into work with them. So what happens eventually is that, the National Science Foundation becomes the they have a very good governance process for distributing money to the potential developers. But if, the other way that you're suggesting, I also totally agree with you that we need to go out to people who need help from us and then develop a business model so that we can engage with them. So that's why we say public-private partnership, so that the National Science Foundation doesn't have a financial commitment, but the financial commitment will come from the public sector. And so we go in with our expertise. So as a result, with my suggestion to Professor Senaratne, he accepts that, we are an expert organization. National Science Foundation has a large overseas as well as local researchers like yourself. And this forms the expert organization that we are. And this expert organization is selling its or supplying its expertise to solve the problems in our country. And that has a financial value which can be built into the PPP, where the private sector comes in with cash to help in the realization of the development work. And finally, there must be exit point for the National Science Foundation after engaging with the party to take it to the commercial world. But for all this to happen, the National Science Foundation has to change its process of engagement rather than a simple distributor of government funds to potential researchers. This has been going on for the last half century. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Ambudenia. Being the chairman of the Technology Development and Innovations Arm, actually your valuable ideas and directives are very important to us as always. Are there anyone who would like to speak? The floor is open for you. As there isn't anyone, if you have any questions regarding the submission of expressions of interest, you can directly call National Science Foundation and ask for more information. Actually, to wind up today's session, first and foremost, I would like to express my profound appreciation to Professor Ranjit Disanayake, who delivered an inspiring address and joined with us in spite of his pressing commitments and heavy responsibilities. Thank you, sir. Then my heartfelt appreciation goes to all participants who participated online. And my special thank goes to the management of NSF, especially to Director General Dr. Sugasinghe for giving us the timely directives to make this event success. And also Dr. Tamara Dias, Additional Director, and Engineer Mahesh Disanayake, Head Technology Development and Innovations Division, and all the heads of the divisions, units, and their staff. Here, I would like to express my deep gratitude to Mr. Madhav Pereira, head of the IT unit, and his staff for their immense support behind the screen. Last but not least, my heartfelt thank goes to all the staff at NSF, especially the staff at the Technology Division and my colleagues at the Research Division. When we can't change the directions of the wind, but we can, of course, adjust our sail to reach our destination. I wish you a good day to you all. Thank you.
Thank you.